I shouldn't have let him touch me like that, but it was late, and I was bone tired, the kind of exhaustion that settles deep after years of giving everything and getting nothing back. Richard was gone again, another week-long trip, somewhere, leaving me in the brownstone we'd built, or rather, I'd built while he watched. His absence, his indifference was routine by now, but that night something shifted. Ethan offered to help. "You've been wound tight all day," he said, leaning in that casual way against the doorway of my home office, his voice low, warm. Rain plastered his shirt to his chest, and his hair was just messy enough to make him look even younger than he was. My stepson. Richard's son from his first marriage. I laughed, tried to play it off, pretended I didn't see the way his eyes lingered when he thought I wasn't looking, but he didn't back down. "Come on, Ava, you're always working too hard. Let me." It felt harmless then, innocent. Just a massage. I was still at my desk when he stepped behind me, his hands hovering a moment before they touched my shoulders. I should have stopped him right there. His fingers were firm, deliberate, digging into the knots that had been building for weeks. I tried to focus on the relief, the dull ache fading as his hands worked down my back, but then his thumbs dipped lower, brushing the curve of my shoulder blades, and I felt it. A spark, just a flicker at first, something I could almost ignore, but the air thickened, charged with something I hadn't felt in years. I froze, breath catching as his fingers hesitated, just for a second before moving lower. "Is this okay?" he asked, his voice soft, careful. I nodded before I could think, my body betraying me. I didn't want him to stop. The truth hit me like a subway train. I hadn't been touched like this in longer than I cared to admit. Not by Richard, not by anyone. And here I was, letting my stepson break down walls I'd built up for decades. It wasn't supposed to go this far, but the way his hands lingered, the warmth of his breath on my neck when he leaned in just a little closer, it was like he knew how starved I was, how desperate I'd become for something nameless. And that's when it happened, the moment I couldn't take back. To understand how I got there, you need to know a little about me. I'm Ava, 54, marketing for over 25 years, senior director at Apex Games for the last 10. Big cinematic RPGs, that's us. Professionally, I'm a success story more than I ever imagined when I started out. A young single mom hustling freelance gigs. That's part of why I married Richard. Early 40s, he seemed like everything I'd been missing. Stable, dependable, charming in a quiet way. Widower with a teenage son, Ethan. Joining his family felt like the missing piece to a life I'd worked so hard to build. Years ago now. Richard and I coexist more like business partners. We share a bed, literally. His life revolves around his consulting firm, mine around Apex deadlines. Two people comfortable in each other's company, but who stopped really seeing each other somewhere along the line. Ethan was 16 when Richard and I married. Awkward, shy, more into games than people. I tried to bond, be the stepmom who cared but wasn't pushy. He kept his distance, always polite, never close. After college, I figured that was it, his own life, holidays, and milestones. Then, a few months ago, he was back. Game design degree, job hunting. Apex needed fresh talent for a new project. I pulled strings, got him in as a junior developer. Easier than I thought. No one knew he was my stepson. He used his mother's last name, Holloway, since high school. No one at the office connected us. At first, I kept my distance. Safer that way. Boundaries, no favoritism accusations. Ethan didn't make it easy. Showing up at my office, questions about marketing, game pitches, told myself he was impressing me, proving himself. But then there were other moments. The way he lingered after meetings, waiting till everyone left to ask things he could have emailed. Eyes following me in the break room when he thought I wasn't looking. That cocky, knowing smile, like he'd figured out a secret. Brushed it off, imagining things harmless. Until the night he stayed late. We'd both been working on a last-minute campaign pitch for a new game launch. Richard out of town as usual. Ethan offered to stay, help. Late when we finished, tension in my shoulders like a vice. That's when he offered. "You look like you could use a massage," he said, light, teasing, like a joke. I should have laughed it off, said no. Instead, some self-deprecating comment about being too old for massages to matter. That's when he stepped closer, confidence softening into something else. "You're not old, Ava," he said, voice dropping. The way he said my name, a shiver, overthinking, just a compliment. But when his hands touched my shoulders, every rational thought evaporated. Didn't see Ethan for days after. Avoided him at work, buried myself in meetings, deadlines, trying not to replay it. Didn't work. Every time I closed my eyes, his hands on me, the low timbre of his voice, he'd planted something, a seed of desire I couldn't uproot. When I finally saw him again, team building event. Apex, hosting a mixer at a rooftop bar in the meatpacking district, celebrating a successful quarter. Richard was supposed to come, canceled last minute, urgent client meeting. Ethan spotted me across the room, came over, 2 glasses of wine, handed me one, easy smile, unbothered by the tension I'd been carrying. "You've been avoiding me," he said, light but pointed. "Been busy," I replied, avoiding his eyes, sipping my drink. "You don't have to be," he said, stepping closer. There it was again, that spark, undeniable pull I'd been fighting. This time, I didn't. Maybe the wine, maybe the way he looked at me, like I was the only one who mattered. Or maybe just tired of pretending I didn't want what I shouldn't. When he suggested leaving early, I didn't argue. Wish I could say that was the last time, that I came to my senses, stopped things before they spiraled. Lie. Started with stolen moments. Quick, desperate encounters in my office after hours, backseat of my car in a deserted parking garage in Soho. Each time, told myself it'd be the last. Couldn't keep risking everything. Ethan made it impossible to stop. Way he looked, touched me, made me feel alive in a way I hadn't in years. Guilt or not, couldn't give it up. After the rooftop bar, floodgates opened. Neither of us could close them. Tried to act normal first few days, impossible. Ethan didn't let it be. At work, bold but subtle. Hand brushing mine, passing a document, holding my gaze too long in meetings. Outside work, texts late at night. Still up? Thinking about you. Each time his name lit up my phone, told myself no response. Always did. Next time happened, office late again. Unplanned, never was. Most of the team gone, finishing a presentation for the board. Ethan appeared at my door, leaning against the frame, same infuriatingly confident smile. "Still here?" I asked, trying casual. "Figured I'd see if you needed help." Started to say no, already walking in, closing the door. Lock clicked softly, stomach twisted, fear and anticipation. "Ethan," I started, cut me off, stepping closer. "You don't have to say anything." Voice low, calm, intensity in his eyes. "I know you've been thinking about it, about me." Wanted to deny it, push him away, pretend I didn't feel it. But when he reached for me, hand brushing my cheek, then tangling in my hair, I didn't stop him. Couldn't. Kiss was electric, tension building to this. Hand slid to my waist, pulling me against him. Resolve shattered. Reckless, I knew it. Office, glass walls, blinds only shield from anyone passing by. Didn't care. Risk made it intoxicating. That night set the tone. Encounters, dangerous routine, each more daring. Stairwell after a team meeting, building empty, breathing echoing off concrete walls pressed against railing. Parking garage, stayed late on campaign launch, Ethan offered to walk me to my car. Dimly lit, eerily quiet, perfect cover. "I can't keep doing this," I whispered as he kissed me, hands under my blazer, even saying it, pulling him closer. Body betraying words. "You don't mean that," he murmured against my neck. Right. Boulder outside work too. Company trip, gaming convention in Chicago, hotel bar late at night. Richard's supposed to join, canceled last minute again. Ethan showed up at my table, uninvited. Tie loosened, whiskey in hand. "Mind if I join you?" Should have said no, reminded him professional in public. Didn't want to be alone. Sat for hours, talking everything. Nothing. Tension simmering, finally got up to leave, he followed to elevator. "Don't," I said as doors shut, barely a whisper. "Don't what?" he asked, stepping closer, barely space between us. "You know what." Smiled, maddeningly confident smile, knees weak, reached for emergency stop button. Ride to my floor, longest of my life. Every time together, guilt crashing down after. Lie awake, staring at ceiling, replaying every moment, hands on my skin, way he looked at me like I was everything. Then, inevitably, shame. Richard didn't make it easier. Oblivious as always. Absence deepened hollow ache. Nights away on business trips. Cruel irony. Leaving me alone, wrestling with choices while he remained unaware. Not just Richard I was risking. Every time I stepped into office, weight of what Ethan and I were doing, fear of someone finding out, whispers spreading, ruining everything I'd built. Couldn't stop. Closest call, company-wide celebration, game launch, fancy rooftop bar downtown. Entire team, corporate bigwigs. Ethan spent evening across room, chatting, blending in, normal. I tried to, forced smile, small talk with CEO and wife, but caught his eyes across room, thrill straight through me. Game we'd started, silent exchange, only us understood. Stepped outside for air, already on edge. Cool night breeze relief, didn't calm storm inside. Didn't hear him approach till right behind me. Couldn't resist, could you? He teased, voice low. Shouldn't be out here, I said, sharper than intended. Neither should you. Before I could respond, stepped closer, hand brushing mine, accidental and deliberate, breath hitched, moment forgot where we were. Door opened behind us. Sarah, lead game designer, stepped out. Oh, sorry, she said, eyes darting between us. Am I interrupting? No, I said quickly, stepping back, distance between Ethan and me. Just needed air. Sarah's eyes lingered, shrugged, lit a cigarette, attention elsewhere. Look, she gave me as she exhaled, unconvinced. After that night, more complicated. Sarah started watching us closer. Sharp eyes, every small interaction, lingering glance. Waiting for us to slip up, reason to dig deeper. Ethan, more time together. Confidence grew. Possessiveness too. Showing up unannounced, texting more, pushing boundaries. You're all I think about, he told me one night, voice heavy. I don't care about consequences. I just want you. Thrilled me, terrified me. Truth wasn't sure I could stop either. A fair razor's edge convinced myself careful, everything fine. Wrong. Cracks showing after rooftop night. Sarah, too observant. Questions, innocent office gossip. Stop by my desk, leaning casually, sly smile. You've been mentoring Ethan a lot, she said one morning. Light tone, sharp eyes. Didn't flinch, neutral expression. He's new. I like junior staff supported. Right, she drew word out. Good to see you invested. Lucky to have someone like you looking out. Smile lingered, walked away, pit in my stomach. Not just words, how she said them, like she knew, no proof yet. Ethan, meanwhile, reckless. Confidence, once thrilling, liability now. Showing up office unannounced, lingering doorway, people around. One afternoon, client presentation prep, appeared without warning, doorway, easy grin, pulse quickened. Ethan, bad time, I said, not looking up, sharper than intended. Relax, he said, stepping inside. No one's paying attention. Wrong. Sarah's desk, direct view of my office. Pretending immersed in work, felt her watching. Kept voice low, sharp. You need to leave now. Didn't move. Smile fading, studied me. Why acting like this? It's not like anyone knows. Stood, moving around desk between him and door. Because people are starting to notice, Ethan. Sarah, for one. If she figures it out, she won't, he said, firm, flicker of doubt in eyes. She might. If she does, not just career on the line, yours too. Moment. Looked like argue, nodded, stepped back. Fine, I'll be careful. Careful wasn't Ethan's strong suit. Week later, company retreat, resort nearby. 2-day getaway, collaboration, creativity. Richard, predictably not interested. Too much work, he said. Besides, it's your thing, not mine. Didn't argue, absence norm, preoccupied with control to care. Retreat, blessing and curse. Keep distance in front of everyone. Both staying overnight, same hotel. First day passed. No incident. Kept busy. Workshops, team activities, avoiding Ethan. Evening, cocktail hour. Caught him watching across room. Gaze magnetic, pulling me in, warnings or not. Slipped outside door, garden. Waited 5 minutes, followed. Garden quiet, hum of conversation muffled by hedges. Found him leaning against stone fountain, tie loosened, sleeves rolled up. Bad idea, I said, approaching, feet moving toward him. Smiled, infuriatingly confident. You've been saying that for weeks. Doesn't seem to stop you. Before I could respond, pulled me into shadows, hands finding waist, lips met mine. Thrill of being out and open, steps from discovery, head spin. Crunch of footsteps on gravel, pushed him away, heart pounding. Straightened ourselves, Sarah appeared, cigarette dangling from fingers. Paused, eyes narrowed, looking between us. Didn't mean to interrupt, she said, tone dripping faux innocence. You weren't, I said quickly, brushing past her before she could say more. That night, lay awake, hotel room, staring at ceiling, replaying moment. Sarah knew, sure of it, if she said something, entire life crashing down. Ethan didn't share concern, texted just after midnight. Room 412, come. Didn't respond. For once, risk too great. Richard started noticing. Little changes in my behavior I couldn't hide. More distracted at home, irritable, avoided his touch like it burned. "You've been distant lately," he said one night at dinner, eyes narrowed, studying me. "Something going on?" "Of course not," I said, forcing smile. "Work's been stressful." Didn't look convinced, didn't press it. Thing about Richard, never pushed. Preferred peace, even ignoring cracks in marriage. Could feel weight of his suspicion growing, added to pressure. Ethan, harder to handle. Started as mutual affair, feeling like something else entirely. One night, after late work session, showed up at my apartment, uninvited. Richard out of town again, answering emails, doorbell rang, open door, saw him standing there, froze. "What are you doing here?" I hissed, glancing over shoulder like Richard might appear. "Needed to see you," he said, stepping inside before I could stop him. "Ethan, this isn't okay. Can't just show up here." "Didn't know where else to go," he said, voice cracking. First time saw something other than confidence. Looked vulnerable, like a boy, not man. "Are you okay?" I asked cautiously. "I don't know," he admitted, running hand through hair. I can't stop thinking about you, about us." Chest tightened, guilt, something else. "Ethan, whatever this is, can't last. You know that." "But I don't want it to stop," he said, voice rising. "I don't care about the risks, Ava. I don't care about anything else. I just want you." Words hit like punch to gut. Part of me didn't want it to stop either. Cracks turning into fractures. Matter of time before everything fell apart. Sarah's suspicions, Richard's unease, Ethan's escalating emotions, walls I'd built crumbling faster than I could repair. Couldn't bring myself to walk away. Tipping point. Friday afternoon. Deceptively ordinary day, everything fine until it wasn't. Ethan and I hadn't spoken much since night he showed at my apartment. Thought distance might cool things, chance to think clearly. Instead, space stoked tension, pulling him closer even as I pushed away. Sarah, as always, watching, felt her eyes during meetings, presence like shadow. Too smart to confront outright, subtle seeds of doubt, offhand comments, lingering looks rattled me. "Fa," she said that morning, casual voice passing hallway. "Board meeting this afternoon, right?" Nodded, forcing polite smile. "Good luck," she said, smile sharp, predatory. "I'm sure it'll go great." Way she said it, chill down spine, no time to dwell. Meeting at 2. Just finished preparing when Ethan appeared in my office. Timing, usual, terrible. "Ethan, busy," I said, not looking up, sharper than intended. "We need to talk," he said, closing door. Glanced up, chest tightening, look in his eyes, desperation and determination. "Not now." "Yes, now." Stepped closer, voice low, insistent. "I'm tired of this, Ava. Tired of sneaking around. Tired of pretending this doesn't mean anything to you." "It's not that simple," I said, standing. "Why not?" he demanded. "You're not happy with Richard, you said it yourself. Why keep pretending?" "Because it's not just about me," I snapped, voice rising. "I have a career, reputation, life I've worked my ass off to build. Can't just throw it all away because of me?" His voice cracked, hurt in eyes cutting deeper. Exhaled, trying to steady myself. "Ethan, this isn't sustainable. You know that. We had fun, but it has to end." Stared at me, long moment, jaw tightening. "You don't mean that." "Yes, I do." Moment thought he might argue, nodded slowly, expression hardening. "Fine, if that's how you feel." Before I could respond, turned, walked out, door ajar. Board meeting, disaster. Couldn't focus, mind replaying conversation with Ethan. By the end, sure I'd tanked presentation. Returned to office, collect myself before anyone noticed how rattled. Open door, froze, Sarah sitting at my desk. "What are you doing here?" I demanded, heart pounding. Didn't answer right away, held up piece of paper. Email draft, recognized immediately, meant to delete. Short, impulsive, typed late one night, guilt and desire collided. "I can't stop thinking about you. I know it's wrong, but I don't care. Meet me after work." "Found this on your computer," she said, calm but icy voice. Interesting choice of words, don't you think? Blood ran cold. "You had no right." "I think I had every right," she interrupted, standing, stepping closer. "You're jeopardizing this entire team with whatever this is. Any idea what could happen if word gets out?" Swallowed hard, trying to keep composure. "It's none of your business, Sarah." Oh, but it is, she said, eyes narrowing. See, I actually care about this company, not about to let your poor judgment ruin everything we've worked for. Implication hung heavy, unspoken threat, wave of panic. What do you want? I asked finally, voice barely whisper. Sarah smiled, satisfaction unmistakable. You're going to end this now, and you're going to clean up the mess you've made before anyone else finds out. Do we understand each other? Nodded, stomach twisting. Yes. That night, called Ethan, no answer. Sent texts, we need to talk. Meet me tomorrow, coffee shop near office, 7 p.m. He replied an hour later. Fine. Coffee shop nearly empty when I arrived. Soft jazz didn't ease nerves. Ethan already there, corner booth, coffee untouched. Looked up, saw me, expression unreadable. Thanks for coming, I said, sliding into seat across from him. No response. Eyes fixed on table. I'm sorry for how I handled things, I began, choosing words carefully. But we both know this can't continue. Not fair to either of us. Looked up then, jaw tight. Fair? You think this is about fairness? Ethan, no, he said, cutting me off. You don't get to do this. You don't get to act like I'm some mistake you can just erase. Throat tightened, forced myself calm. That's not what I'm saying, but we both have too much to lose. He laughed bitterly, shaking head. You mean you have too much to lose? Words hit harder than expected. Moment couldn't respond. I cared about you, he said finally, voice breaking. I thought you cared about me too. I do, I said softly. But not like this. Not anymore. Stared at me long moment, eyes filled with something between anger and heartbreak. Then, without another word, stood, walked out, leaving me alone in booth. Wish I could say that was end of it, everything back to normal after that night. Life doesn't work that way. Sarah kept distance, made it clear she was watching. Richard grew more suspicious, questions harder to deflect. Ethan disappeared from my life as quickly as he'd entered. Void I couldn't fill. Don't know if he ever forgave me, not even sure I forgave myself. Some mistakes too big to fix, some desires leave scars that never fully heal.